Hi everyone, welcome to yet another episode of Travel with Tom. We're still in Israel and we thought we'd share with you some really interesting Israeli history in the midst of our travel. So what people don't know so much outside of Israel, that during the years between 1949 and 1959 are known as the Tzena. It was a time of famine actually in Israel. Were they like famine of like biblical proportions? Not quite. It was perhaps akin to austerity. There just wasn't enough food around. They hadn't really gotten it going yet. There was a real economic downturn and food suffered the most. My grandmother, who's living in Israel at the time, received a cookbook in 1952 as a present from my grandfather. And inside, there are no recipes for meat. There's like one maybe for chicken. There are no recipes that contain eggs or milk. They were using powdered milk and powdered eggs, and they were replacing meat with legumes and eggplants or aubergine. So they were being very creative about it. A whole cookbook was put out by Witso in Hebrew. There was like tinned beans and dried beans and lentils and vegetables. There were vegetables. So remembering the Tzena, we thought we would make really Israeli salad, but using eggplants. The recipe's been inspired by Ottolenghi, a great Israeli chef. So we're gonna start. It's a fried eggplant salad with a coriander and almond pesto. So these are all things that like really speak to me of Israel. So in my food processor is going my coriander, which I washed, I checked, I dried, the whole bit. Along with that is going the juice of 1 lemon, and we're gonna add 3 cloves of garlic and the zest of the same lemon. So we're using all of the lemon in here. So all of that is going in. Those are my dry-ish ingredients. Added to that, what I have here is toasted almonds. What I wanted was almonds still in their skin, but this is Corona time. I was able to find almonds. Hooray for almonds. So I'm gonna add 3/4 of the almonds. They're still a little hot because I just toasted them. And I'm gonna reserve the rest of them to decorate the top of the salad. So let's make our coriander and almond pesto. It would help if it was hot. So there we go. So almond, coriander pesto, or cilantro, as you may call it, or kuzbera in Hebrew. So unlike pesto, usual pesto that's made with basil, this is a heartier version of pesto. It's got the coriander, which I think adds a bit of freshness, which we're gonna need with our fried eggplant, and lemon, which you don't usually have in pesto made with basil. And the coriander seed is the coriander leaf is a little heartier than the basil leaf, which is good for Israeli climate. So now I'm gonna drizzle in about 1/2 cup of olive oil. We're using Israeli olive oil. We're all about Israel today. So I'm very excited that I was able to find some in my cupboard. So here we go. I'm talking over the volume. I'm waiting for it all to kind of like become a liquid, which is gonna be my pesto, which is gonna act as the salad for the dressing for my salad. And what I love about pesto is that my kids love pesto. So from an early age, I taught everyone how to make things like rice, chocolate chip cookies, and pesto because they love pasta with pesto. And pesto is great because you can make it ahead of time and it will happily sit in your fridge for a good week, which is awesome. If I was a proper Italian mama, probably for longer, but a week seems about right for me. So add the rest of the olive oil. And we're gonna season our pesto. People tend to forget that part, with about a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper. Give it a good zhuzh, and our pesto is done. Awesome. All right, we're moving on to the fried eggplant. So let's bring our fryer. You can absolutely 100% do this in a pan, a pot. If you have a thermometer to gauge the temperature, even better. But you'll know when it's cooked. So I'm gonna add my eggplants a little bit at a time. And check out these eggplants. They have this like purple and white striped flesh. Again, that's what we could find, and I think it's awesome that we need to cook with what's around nowadays, and you just can't get everything you want, and you have to cook with what's around, and I think that is the lesson of the Tzena. For 10 years, the population of Israel, this newfound state, is cooking based on what's available, and they're making the most of it. And those Israeli dishes that we love so much, many of them are born during this time. Necessity is the mother of invention. My Aunt Yuda says that all the time. And this is it. So this Tzena period really was so challenging for so many families, including mine. In 1959, as the Tzena is coming to the tail end, both my parents' families actually leave Israel. So in August of 1959, my mother's family, and then a week later, my father's family leave Israel for America. My father actually had his bar mitzvah on the boat. He was 13, bar mitzvah, and my mother was 10, and they arrived in America. There were so many immigrants from Israel, especially in Forest Hills, where my mother's family moved to, that I think over half her class in public school were actually children of Israelis. And it was really an incredible time in Israeli history of challenges and of growth amidst tremendous challenge and adversity. So we're making our salad, we're celebrating Israel, we're celebrating the challenges because we grow from challenges like we are right now. So I'm waiting for our eggplant to get golden. It's not there yet. So as soon as it's golden, we're gonna drain it, and then we're gonna cook up the rest of the eggplant. So our eggplant is frying. Check that out. Doesn't that look amazing? It tastes delicious too. I mean, anything fried, but fried eggplant actually tastes incredibly sweet as well. And we've laid out our cucumbers and tomatoes. The recipe I was inspired from Ottolenghi actually had these stunning green tomatoes, and it just looked so good. No green tomatoes, sorry people. But I guess we're gonna finish laying out our salad. So I'm taking my already fried eggplant, there's still more going, and I'm going to distribute it artistically amongst my cucumbers and tomatoes. And all that's left is actually to top it with my coriander and almond pesto. And what you'll have noticed, unlike usual pestos, there's no cheese in it. There's no Parmesan. It's really sticking to that Israeli thing where I don't know how much access they had during the Tzena to, good Italian Parmesan. But this tastes incredible. So we're gonna add some of the pesto to the top. I always serve it with extra. People love dipping pitot into the not Parmesan, sorry, pesto. So that's going on, and we're gonna add some of our reserved toasted almonds to the top. And to me, this is a real celebration of Israel. Israel isn't easy. I know we're traveling, Israel's amazing, but it's not an easy thing. There's sad times and there are happy times. And to me, this is a recipe that really speaks about that. The bounty of Israel with the cucumbers and the tomatoes and the coriander, the eggplant that reminds us that, you know, in tough times, we find delicious substitutes. Today is Yom HaZikaron, the Day of Remembrance. It's the day that Israel remembers its fallen soldiers and victims of terror. To all of you who have lost people, we wish you Chayim Arukim. And there are no words beyond that. A long life. And join us tomorrow when we're going to introduce you to a whole bunch of amazing Israeli stories that really celebrate Israeli food and celebrate Israel in the best way we know how, by eating. So from Travel with Tom, Israeli style, we hope to see you soon. Bye.